apologize for all that.
No worries. Bigger fish to fry, bro.
Yeah. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Bump and Run. I'm Pete Colasano, joined as always by my good friend, Mr. Scott Bracey. What's going on, dude? It's been a little while.
Welcome back, my friend.
Yeah. We take a little break after Super Bowl because the Super Bowl is our Super Bowl. We love football so much, and we do take a little bit of a break. But now, free agency trades and draft season's coming up, so we'll hit some of that soon. But I wanted to start off before we get into like the actual trades and who signed where, who was let go, and all that kind of stuff. I wanted to point out there are two different types of teams this time of year. There are teams that are building for the future, and there are teams that are building for next season. Like, I'm sure, we'll get into some of the trades and some of the free agency picks, but like the Rams are clearly a team that's taking a shot at next season. And then you look at other teams like maybe Miami or the Jets or some others, Arizona, that are looking down the line. Yeah. And those are always tougher for fans because, what do we always say? The offseason and the draft is kind of like Christmas. It's forever optimism. Like, hey, if we get this and this, it might be our year. So it can be very difficult for teams that are kind of unloading and maybe building for 2-3 years from now. But at the same time, on the other hand, those teams that are clearly making moves that are for this upcoming season, even before the draft gets here. And then there will be more stuff after the draft because as teams draft players, they may let go of other older players. So it can be difficult if you're one of the teams that's building for the future. But unless you are the Jets, of course, or maybe the Cleveland Browns, you have to have some hope that the people that have been brought in are doing what they think is best, that'll work out in the long run. It could just be really difficult for those folks.
Yeah.
Jets fans, Cardinals fans, Dolphins fans now, and some others. It could be difficult for them, but exciting for the ones that think maybe they got a chance at winning a Super Bowl this coming season.
Let's start with one of those teams. My Denver Broncos traded for wide receiver Jalen Waddle.
Yes.
In a win now kind of situation where up to that point they made no moves.
Right.
They signed a couple guys on defense, re-signed J.K. Dobbins, backup running back, or maybe a 50-50 running back split. But Waddle makes them more explosive, makes Cortland Sutton more valuable with his position, and then drops Bryant and Franklin and Mims 3, 4, 5, which is enormous, I think.
Sure.
I still think they need a fucking tight end. Sean Payton's always had a pretty good tight end.
Yeah.
Offensive line's intact. Bo's rebounded from the injury pretty nice, I hear. So I think it's a good move on paper, man. It's
interesting to me that CBS Sports gave them a D+ grade, and I don't really understand that. If you were to, I don't know, kind of take a look at the Denver Broncos at the end of last season, most people would say that they were one of the more complete teams at the end of the year, or even for most of the year, that it wasn't a lot of clear holes. Maybe they could use, again, this is before this offseason, maybe they could use a more explosive wide receiver or something like that, a tight end, to your point. I don't know. I think bringing in Waddle, again, this is one of those, they paid a heavy price. But if you're the Denver Broncos, you're probably looking at this as you have a 2 or 3 year max window until Bo Nix is paid like a top tier quarterback. While he's still on his rookie contract right now, why not spend the money on a guy like Waddle? So I don't know. I have a different opinion than CBS. I actually like the moves. I like what they did. I like how things look coming into this season, and I think it was a good move. We will see. Waddle has yet to be in a position with Miami where they're really competitive, other than one time, when they had the playoffs against Kansas City. But this will be interesting. I think it was a good move. I think it'll help them a lot this coming season.
Agreed. The Buffalo Bills made a good move at wide receiver as well. Traded for wide receiver DJ Moore and signed Bradley Chubb on the defensive side of the ball. They've been doing what the Von Miller, Bosa, Bradley Chubb, they're doing like this older guy on the edge, trying to get some life out of him at the end of his career.
Yeah. I like what they did though.
Yeah, me too.
I like what they did here. I think it was necessary. You know, we liked the Bosa move at first last year, but then when I looked into the statistics and see how many sacks he's actually gotten over the last 5 years, I was like, oh, he averages like 5 or less a year. Like, it's not great. Bradley Chubb, I think, is an upgrade there. I love the DJ Morris selection. You know, obviously, we've seen that they have a lot of talent at tight end. Makes a hell of a difference to have another like explosive, real frontline, 1,000-yard potential wide receiver. And it always, you know, it's funny. Like we'll say, like, well, DJ Moore will take pressure off the tight ends. It works the other way too. Like, how are you? It's hard to cover everybody. You can't double. You certainly can't double team everybody. And DJ Moore is someone who is absolutely worthy of double team, at least consideration. He is a 1. He might be in like an A-, maybe not an A+. By the way, I don't think this was a bad move for Chicago either. I think DJ Moore's time there had kind of run out.
Agreed.
He didn't fit anymore. They have some younger guys there that they clearly like throwing to more. So I think it was a good trade. Yeah, I think this was a good trade for both teams, and I like the pickup of Bradley Chubb. I think the moves that they made, along with a couple on the defensive side of the ball, which they probably need some more help there too, and I assume they'll get that in the draft. I think this makes Buffalo a very viable team coming into next season.
Remember, new coaching staff as well.
Yeah. Now, so this was something that I was asked about before, and well, it's the same guy, and I'm like, yeah, it's the same guy, but different reins.
No doubt.
And what I mean by that is you had a defensive coach, and this was the offensive coordinator, and now as the head coach, Joe Brady has nobody reining him in. Nobody's saying you can do this, you can't do that. No, run the ball here. No, don't throw the ball, or whatever reigns any head coach, rightfully so. By the way, you're the head coach. You do what you think should be done. I'm not trying to say McDermott shouldn't have done that or was bad at it. They were a damn good team. But to say that it'll be more of the same, that's not necessarily true. That's just not necessarily true. We've seen Joe Brady do amazing things when he was at LSU. He made some improvements in play calling when he took over the offensive coordinator job. I think it's been kind of since he's been at LSU as a very young coordinator. A lot of people have looked at him as a head coach in waiting, and it didn't take terribly long for that to happen. So I'm not so sure that this is just more of the same. I think it looks a little different, or at least it'll feel a little different.
The Miami Dolphins signed quarterback Malik Willis, and I think this is kind of funny, too, to what you said before, because they're in a long haul here rebuild, and they obviously traded Waddle, and Tyreek Hill's gone, and their whole defense is gone, and I don't know. And they give him some pretty good money here, too, pal, right?
Yeah, so this is one. I agree with you a lot on this one. I actually have Miami in the plus category. Like, I like what they did. They just, look, I know how hard it is. Like, you got to eat $100 million, man. Yeah. I know they're spreading it over 2 seasons, but regardless, it's hard. It is really friggin' hard to do that. But what were you going to do? Try to keep moving forward with Tua? So they move on from Tua. They bite the bullet. They just tear the Band-Aid off. They move on from Waddle. They moved off of all kinds of pieces on the defensive side of the ball. And then I'm just confused. I'm confused with the signing of Willis because, he has very few starts under his belt, but his time with Green Bay, when he did start and did play, looked pretty damn good. Considerable improvement over his time with Tennessee. Now, that's also telling you why he signed with Miami, because Jeff Hafley was the defense coordinator with Green Bay. He saw him firsthand, probably every day as the backup quarterback running the scout team. So, I see why Hafley wanted him, but I don't get it. That was the only move in the offseason for Miami that I didn't quite understand. Who's the kid they got there from Texas at quarterback to play at the end of the year?
Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, got Quinn Ewers there. At times he looked good. At times he looked like a rookie. Imagine that with a rookie quarterback. I just would have gone into the season with him. He's big. He's strong. Like, I just would have, number one, let's find out what he's capable of. And number two, let's save the money. I just don't get it. By the time this team he signed a 3-year contract. By the time this team is ready and viable, his contract will pretty much be up. So, and on top of that, what are we watching? Like, this team has been stripped to the frame, like
right.
Stripped down to the studs. I don't know how do you even judge Malik? And like, in a way, for him, it's almost not fair. Like, how do you even judge the job he's doing and whether or not in 3 years you would even want to resign him, or 2 years at the end of next season?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, at the end of second season, would you want to extend him? That's crazy.
Yeah, totally ass backwards. Like you got rid of, like, you're going to take a cap hit this year. Then you got a lot of draft picks, and then you sign a quarterback for a lot of money. And then when he's up, these rookies are going to be out. Like, what's the goal?
I liked everything else, even though it sucks. So that was kind of in the opener that I mentioned. Like, for some teams, this is tough. Man, if you're a Dolphins fan, this is a hard time right now, because if you go back, 4 years, I guess, you're probably like somewhat excited. I know everybody thinks Tua sucks now, but at the time you were probably pretty excited. You know, he's an early first round draft pick, you know, high expectations coming off a national championship. And now it's, after a couple tough seasons, it's got to be tough. And
they haven't won a playoff game in 26 years.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. How we doing, Mike Dean?
Michael, what's up, buddy? The golf king, Mr.
He has been tearing it up in fantasy golf.
I'm going to start fucking taking his bets, and he's going to start losing, and he's going to beat me up. So I don't want to do that.
That's why I never touch him. I don't want to jinx it.
Buy me a beer whenever I see him. The New England Patriots, the Super Bowl runner-up, which is still hard to believe, signed wide receiver Romeo Doubs, which I love that move. I think I like it. The man with the rubber head.
Yeah.
Your old pal, your old pal, AVT, which he never got going. He never got going on with the Jets. He could not stay on the field.
It's so sad, because when he did play, he's very, very talented,
versatile too, man. Can play different positions.
Yeah, both guards and tackle, and played them all well. But his injuries weren't just like nagging injuries either, man. They were season enders. And that's scary. And I feel bad, because I liked him, and he never complained about moving to different positions. I like guys like that. I hope, I don't want it to work out too well with New England. For him, though, I hope it does, because he deserves better now. I like the kid a lot.
Agreed. Your New York Jets. This is not a time machine, folks. Do not go back and see anything. They have traded for Geno Smith.
Yeah.
They traded for Micah Fitzpatrick. They signed linebacker Demario Davis. Is this 2011 and no one told me? What the fuck? Or 2018, whatever.
A lot of senior citizens on
what
this
is happening there, Peter?
Although Demario Davis is still plays at like a Pro Bowl level. It's unbelievable.
This has that guy from the Ravens all over. What, the guy the linebacker?
DJ Mosley.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of that in there.
He's significant. I think he's older than DJ is now. But look, they're just filling gaps. They're just filling gaps until time. The Geno Smith one is interesting. Look, Geno, like most quarterbacks,
Mike D might be right.
Yeah. Geno is dependent on things around him, like the most quarterbacks are. Even the great Patrick Mahomes.
Breaking news, folks.
Yeah, can't play well when his offensive line stinks. But I will say this. I do like the tight end, the young tight end that they got. Hard to judge him off of last year, because
Mason Taylor. No, I'm a fan too. Yeah,
I like him. I like Garrett.
I like your running backs.
I like the offensive line. They need to fill in, and they need a guard, but they got 2 strong tackles and a strong center. Like, I don't know. I think he'll do okay. I think they're gonna stink. Like, I think they're gonna be bad. But and I'm not an Aaron Glenn guy. I wish I thought differently. I'll put it that way, because I love Aaron Glenn, obviously. But I just don't think it's going to work out. But I actually think I think Geno will look better with the Jets than he looked with the Raiders last year, because he was constantly fighting for his life. And I think the Jets, Breece Hall's still at running back. They have a decent
Allen behind him, who's good to have.
I actually think he might look okay this year. Not terrible.
You gotta get more. You gotta get more weapons. Like AD Mitchell.
We'll see what they do in the draft. We'll see what they do in the draft. I don't know.
You gotta go defense, right? You gotta go defense.
They need so much, dude.
I know.
I gotta be honest with you. If you're gonna bring in a Geno Smith, I think you gotta bring in a quarterback, and we'll talk about this at another time.
Sure.
I think this is a very I'll leave it at this. I think it's a very interesting year, because there are some quarterbacks in this draft that, coming into this past season, were very highly considered. And they didn't have the seasons.
I could give you like 4 off the top of my head. If you
I know you could, like, very easily. And that doesn't even include Ty Simpson.
Right.
who I have a lot to say about Ty Simpson. So
Oh,
I'm good and bad, by the way. So this is foreshadowing to
a couple weeks away. Yeah.
But I think bringing in Geno, you got to bring in a young quarterback. Geno's a consummate professional. Like I want a guy coming in and learning from Geno Smith.
And again, too, kind of like your same thing with the Jets had a little bit bad luck. You don't know how to judge Mason Taylor. You don't know how to judge this guy.
It's impossible.
With Geno Smith being on the Raiders, it's kind of hard to judge him too last year because he was
absolutely because the line was so bad.
The line, the rookie running back, no weapons. The worst team in the conference again by far.
Absolutely.
Division.
No, absolutely. It's just hard. Look, you just go back to what you saw Geno in Seattle, and what you saw was a guy who had a good run, good strong running game, good offensive line, and weapons. Well, Geno, for 2 years there, Geno was freaking slinging it all over the goddamn place, putting up sick numbers.
No doubt.
So, there were a lot of people when they moved Geno to the Raiders and brought in Sam Darnold that were like, Geno's better. I mean, I don't mean fans. I mean, guys who do this stuff for a living. I was not one of them, but I didn't think the gap was so much that it was worth an extra $20 million a year.
Yeah.
So, but Sam proved me wrong. But I agree with you. I'm not ready to just throw Geno off the boat just because he had a bad season with the Raiders last year because it's just such a bad offensive line. So we'll see. I'm not trying to tell you the Jets are going to win 10 games. I'd be thrilled if I were them. If you're a Jets fan, if they win 6 or 7 games, I think that means they're on the path to improvement.
Yeah, and Aaron Glenn stays if that's the case. You don't want to use this constant turnover, though, man. You can't keep doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have moved on from him this year. Sometimes you just know, and I think
I hear you. The Baltimore Ravens traded for Max Crosby. Oh no, they did not, sir. That's my fault. I got confused.
Dick move of all dick moves. I hate it. I can't stand this. I can't stand this.
So they signed Trey Hendrickson. Now you can go into why you hate it, and now we'll have probably something.
Well, you know who really gets screwed here is the Raiders. The Raiders get screwed because they trade Max Crosby and then they go and sign, I think it's Tyler Lindenbaum. I don't know his first name.
The center.
The center from Baltimore, nonetheless, and gave him a shitload of money, the kind of money no center has ever gotten. Now, he's probably best center in the league, but no center's ever gotten that money. But why did they do that? Because they thought they were getting rid of Max Crosby's money, and now they're stuck. I don't want to say stuck with Max Crosby because he's friggin' fantastic. But now you got him back, and they had to make some maneuvers, some money maneuvers, just to be compliant with the cap at the time, right now. So that definitely screwed with their plans. I think the funny thing is, I think Max is probably fine with it because I think he wants to be a Raider. I think he didn't want to leave.
I think that's why he got so pissed off last year when they benched him with his knee. He goes, "No, I want to play. I want to play. I want to play." So he wants to bring the Raiders back to relevancy, and that's awesome.
Absolutely. And I don't think he costs an arm and a leg. So
fly to the fucking city and do the whole thing and come
awful.
on.
It's so awful.
And that's an unreal thing to do, bro, too. Not like
it sucks for him. Now the part of it with him that I feel so bad is you think you're going to a quality organization, a winning organization, a chance to win a Super Bowl, and now you might be back home, and there's nothing wrong with being home. But you sure as shit know you ain't winning a Super Bowl or even competing for one for at least 2 years. Like for the next 2 years, you're not competing for one. So that kind of sucks. But, the comfort of being home, that might be enough for him.
The Pittsburgh Steelers traded for wide receiver Michael Pittman.
Like it. I like it.
Signed running back Rico Dowdle and cornerback Jamel Dean. Yeah, I love Michael Pittman too, but I don't know who's throwing him the ball.
That is the question. Who's the kid that got out of Ohio State last year?
That would be
God, am I drawing a blank?
Jesus Christ.
You know who I'm talking about.
Kansas, Will Howard.
Will Howard. Look, you got Mike McCarthy in there, who every quarterback that plays for Mike McCarthy plays very well. Will Howard sat and watched Aaron Rodgers last year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so sure that they're being unbelievably patient with Aaron Rodgers because they want to take a look and see if Will Howard, has Ben Roethlisberger ability. If you remember, Ben Roethlisberger was not the gunslinger that he became when he first came in the league. Even like the first Super Bowl, I think he completed like 4 passes. Like it was he wasn't great. They brought him in and they did it slowly. And he was more of a runner. He was tough runner, physical kind of guy, and they ran the shit out of the ball, played great defense. Will Howard is big, athletic, cannon for an arm. It wouldn't surprise me if they tried to do something similar with that. I'm not saying that's what they're doing. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me if they were more than happy to be patient and say, let's give this kid a chance in the offseason to see what he looks like, and then make our moves and decisions after that. I don't think you're going to hear from Aaron Rodgers till after the draft, kind of like what happened last year anyway. So
yeah, I'm sick of this guy. I know you've been
the only reason you bring him in at this point is your choices are thin.
Yeah.
And
he knows the system and Mike and everything at McCarthy.
He knows the system, knows Mike, and you want another year for him to train a young quarterback, whether that's Will Howard or they go and draft another quarterback.
Yeah. Garrett Nussmeier, some whatever the fuck his name.
Maybe.
The Houston Texans traded for running back David Montgomery. His time in Detroit was getting his carries and playing time was getting more diminished. And they signed the safety Reed Blankenship from Philadelphia, who's a solid player. I wouldn't go nuts over it or dismiss it. But the Texans are having this problem now where they are worried about C.J. Stroud.
You should be worried about C.J. Stroud because you don't protect him. Like, he was running for his life. He was getting murdered last year. So that's something that they haven't really addressed. And again, I don't know, maybe they will again, and maybe they will in the draft. They really didn't do it in the draft last year. Maybe they will this year. Montgomery, fine, okay. If your line stinks, if your line stinks, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? So, I don't know.
Yeah, enough said.
Yeah.
The Colts, re-signed Daniel Jones and wide receiver Alec Pierce. Now, Pierce had a sneaky, very good year, but most of that was with a healthy Daniel Jones, obviously.
Right.
Daniel Jones, rumor has it, could be back for camp.
Could be.
I don't trust this fucking guy staying healthy in a fucking bubble wrap. I just don't at this point.
Yeah.
There's just been too much history of him getting hurt. And we're thinking 2 years?
Yeah. Two things about this. Number one, Daniel Jones has entered Kirk Cousins territory where he's just stealing money. Like, he's just stealing money, and God bless him, because the league is so desperate for quarterbacks. He just finds a way. Because this is ridiculous. You got a guy coming off an Achilles rupture who historically is not great. Like, at least Kirk Cousins historically was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
It's something. Daniel Jones had like 6-7 good games in his career, most of them with the Colts. And like, he just got a 2-year extension for like 42 million a year. God bless him. But it's the second thing I would say about it, because I'm awestruck. I'm like, wow, man, it's like such a commitment to a guy who just, even the last few games he played, he wasn't looking very good.
Well, I think he was hurt already at that point too.
You're probably right. The last two guys we have coming off Achilles tears, Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins, the first season they came back, they did not look good.
Yeah.
So that's the second part that kind of worries me a little bit. What's he going to look like, even if he is available for camp, even if they slowly bring him back in? What is he going to look like? Like, I don't know. So I don't love this at all in any way, shape, or form. I just don't like it.
I'm kind of with you. The Tennessee Titans have made some moves, my friend. First of all, head coach, your old pal, Robert Saleh.
Mm-hmm.
Giants, Mr. Brian Dable.
Yes, I like that a lot.
They have traded for Jets DN Jermaine Johnson, who I knew Saleh loved.
I didn't hate this, but they gave up a really good defensive tackle to get him, but I like it.
Yep. Signed wide receiver Wanda Robinson.
Don't hate that.
And cornerbacks Cordell Flott and Elonte Taylor. Now, there's a lot of Jets and Giants on this fucking list that's going on there.
Yeah.
So I watched the Saints play a couple times, and Elonte Taylor really showed out to me.
Yeah.
Like, really, like, long corner, very aggressive.
Yep.
And I think that's what Saleh wants. Cordell Flott's a very solid player there, too. Wanda Robinson's a very cute, nice player, but they need a fucking stud. They need somebody.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Didn't they have a guy named A.J. Brown a couple years ago?
They did.
Yeah, it's funny. So I like the direction they're going. They're being aggressive. I think Salah's going to be better this time around. I think you learn a couple things.
Yeah.
It's not a. It's I know I was gonna say something kind of, but I'm gonna go against it because I'm like, oh, you're gonna go to like a smaller market, patient, but they were not patient with Mr. Vrabel, so that might not be the truth.
Vrabel was there for a long time. Again, sometimes you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Who knows if fucking Vrabel went in there? This wouldn't surprise me
And
at
told
all.
people to fuck anybody out. Yeah.
Yeah. Who the fuck are you? I'm the coach. Like, whatever. Who knows?
Fair. That's fair.
Wouldn't surprise me because he's a very strong-willed dude. And maybe he'd be right for doing so. Should have listened to him. He was in the Super Bowl this last year. One thing you didn't mention, because I have Tennessee in the plus column here, they picked up like 5 offensive linemen.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they picked up like 4 or 5 offensive linemen, and then probably another 3 or 4 defensive linemen. Like one of the things we talk about on the show, the real sexy stuff we talk about is the salary cap and offensive and defensive line. Like people love when we talk about those things, but the reality is like real football starts there.
Yeah.
And the one thing that was really disturbing to me last year was like Cam Ward was just constantly, running for his life. And there were times to me that I thought he looked good. And one of the things I did like about Cam Ward last year is that even though he was constantly getting just mauled, he never looked scared. He never looked like he had happy feet. He never would leave the pocket until he actually was supposed to leave the pocket. And that's, to me, is a good sign. That's tough son of a bitch right there. Now, if they can straighten out this offensive line, I still am a fan. I still believe in him. I love his arm. He's got just enough mobility. He throws really well on the run. So even though I don't consider him like a running quarterback, when he breaks the pocket and he's on the run, he's stupid accurate with the ball. So I like that a lot. And to your point, like they picked up some skill position players. I think they'll address that even more in the draft. There's a lot of youth, a lot of work being done up front on the line of scrimmage. And I just like that a lot when you got a young quarterback.
Yeah,
I think it's more important to fill those offensive line and defensive line needs than it is to get a receiver, although they certainly need a receiver. Like, protect this kid. Yeah, protect this freaking kid.
The Kansas City Chiefs have signed running back Kenny Walker. Great. All right. Good player. MVP Super Bowl. Chiefs lost a lot on defense.
They lost a lot everywhere. This does nothing for me. Like if you look at what Kansas City normally likes in a running back, yes, he's a good runner, but they're always good receivers out of the backfield. That's not Kenneth Walker at all.
No.
Now look, maybe they're moving in a different direction and want to have more of a power running game. But what I wrote down, which is more concerning to me, they made no moves at all on the offensive line. None, not a single one. They didn't bring in a single, like, at least notable guy.
And Mahomes coming off injury.
You got Mahomes coming off an injury, and you brought in Justin Fields. Like, Justin Fields might be the Kansas City Chiefs starter for the first 3, 4, 5 games. Who knows? That's kind of scary.
And you signed Kelsey for a 3-year deal? He's not going to live that out.
No, that's a 1-year deal, basically. I will say this about Justin Fields. If you don't show out this year,
with Andy,
you're not going to be on any team
it's
ever
over again. Johnny.
Because if you can't, like, Andy Reid makes everyone look good. He just makes everyone look good. Backups. Like, I remember
Henny was good at fucking 35 years old.
I'm saying, I was just going to bring up Henny. Like, there was a 4th and 1 in I don't know if it was a playoff game or last game, whatever the hell it was.
He ran for like 20 yards.
And they had him throw the ball on 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1, 4. And I'm like, holy shit, Andy's got some balls, but he trusts his guys because he coaches them up well. Justin Fields can't make it now, which I don't think he will. Plus, if you just look, the offensive line stinks.
Maybe they make him the backup running back. Who knows?
He'd probably be better off, man. He'd probably be better off. Yeah, I didn't like. At least so far, I don't like what the Chiefs have done.
Yeah, it's kind of unassuming. The Las Vegas Raiders, who we just talked about, as Pete mentioned, signed center Tyler Lindenbaum, defensive end Kwity Paye, linebackers Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker, and wide receiver Jalen Naylor. They found the casino in Vegas, and they just started hitting fucking bet again, bet again, bet again, bet again. You win a car, you win a car, you win a.
That stadium money is starting to pay off.
And now Max Crosby coming back
2 years in a row at WrestleMania at Allegiant Stadium. That's helping.
Women's Final Four, big sellout there, pal.
Yeah. I like the Lindenbaum. It's an overpay. It's a wild overpay. Like, I mean, a wild overpay. But I think it's huge. Why? because you're bringing in a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, I really hope he doesn't start right from the jump. I fear that they may do that.
Yeah.
I fear that they're going to do that, and I think it's a goddamn mistake. But if you're going to, man, to have that kind of quality under center to help out, to call out blocking schemes, I think that is an underrated move. You know, for good reason, we usually talk about tackles as far as protection goes for quarterbacks and stuff. But, man, that center is so freaking important. And I think that's a big deal. I think it's a big deal what they did there.
I like what they did on defense, too. Kwity Paye's a good veteran player. The two linebackers are very good. They've had good years in the league.
Yeah.
Their defense has been dog shit for 15 years.
Yeah. There were times last year it wasn't bad. Yeah, there were times last year it wasn't bad. And then there were times it was just awful. So
yeah, it's awful a lot. But that's nothing against Max.
Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys trade for edge Rashawn Gary, which I think they need a pass rusher. I think he's a nice player. No, I think it helps. They had the trades last year to get the D tackles in there. Their defense needed help too. They were the first 9-8. Oh, oof.
Yeah, it needed a lot of help.
So I think it helps. I don't think it's a negative, but yeah, I think there's more like maybe draft or something down the road for agency. But
yeah, they got Pickens they signed him for the
franchise tag.
Franchise. I don't know why I keep forgetting the word franchise tag.
Hey, you're getting old, pal.
I clearly, right? Bald head, white beard. It's not a young look. So
you're not Chalamet, is what we're saying.
They're gonna be fine offensively. They always are. I mentioned at the end of last season, I actually like what Brian Schottenheimer did last year. I think he did a lot with a little. They were still one of the more explosive teams offensively in the NFL, so I suspect they'll still be there. Dak is good, not great, but he's good. And with the weapons that they have there, I think they'll still be good. Bringing in, some guys on defense is going to help. It's going to help. And I actually think if they do a couple right things, I think there's a chance they win the NFC East. So we shall see.
We shall see. Speaking of the NFC East, the New York Football Giants, led by John Harbaugh, signed tight end Isaiah Likely, linebacker Tremaine Edmonds, and cornerback Greg Newsome.
Yeah.
All solid veterans in the league that Harbaugh knows Likely very well, knows Newsome very well, played against him twice a year for how many years? This, to me, offensive line was better than we thought last year. Jackson Dart's got to reel it in a little bit on the crazy shit.
I think he will. He got a good, smart head coach. I think he will.
Scadaboo's is fun to watch, but I think they need another guy with him there.
Yes.
Neighbors coming off every torn ligament in his knee. That's going to take a little time.
Do we know if he'll be ready by camp?
I think he'll be ready because he did it in September. So
I think he did it very early.
Yeah, I think they got more months to work with than a couple guys that we mentioned before.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be fun. I know you didn't love the Harbaugh signing. I think this is going to be, at least in the Northeast for me, we need some positivity on the football teams, for Christ's sake.
Sure. Look, I don't hate a Harbaugh signing. I would have gone with Stefanski. That's all. If I had my druthers, I would have taken Stefanski because I want Stefanski with my quarterback. But no, Harbaugh's a really good coach. I mean, come on, he's a very good coach. One of the things they always say is the best friend of a young quarterback is a good tight end, especially a good receiving tight end. So bringing in Likely, I think, can be very helpful for Jackson Dart. I still have questions about Jackson Dart. I think some of the things that people liked about him was that he was a little bit of a wild hair and you never knew what he was going to do. And he took a lot of risks and he put his body at risk and by trying to make plays, which I get it. I'd like that too. Like I want guys putting it out there to try to win football games. I always come back to this. I feel like the quarterback in the NFL, a quarterback in football is a distributor. You're a point guard. Your job is to get the ball to somebody else, not to be the playmaker yourself. And I'm just not fully convinced. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just not fully convinced that Jackson Dart is that guy. I like him. I liked him coming out of the draft. I'm just saying I'm not convinced. That's all. I hear you. For me, it's still a work in progress.
I can't say you're wrong on that. I'm not going to argue with you.
That's all.
I like where he's going.
I think they're fully committed to him, clearly. he's the guy, and that's all. That's my only point about that. I like some of the things they're doing, and when everybody's going to be healthy, there's a lot to like. There's a lot to like. I think the Giants are a much more interesting team than last year's record would lead you to believe.
Yeah, I mean, they blew a bunch of games late. They never quit on Dable, though. I know it was time to move on from Dable, but they never quit on him.
Nope.
They got some guys on the defensive line too. Christ, if they get this thing cooking.
There's a lot of nice pieces with the Giants. There's a lot of nice pieces, and Daboll just wasn't able to bring them together. This is not a team. This is not the Jets from last year. Like, this is not a team that was just barren of talent. There's some players. There's some ball players there. There's a lot to like, and we'll see what they do in the draft. Could be very interesting. They're another one. I wouldn't be shocked if they won the NFC East next year. Only team I will tell you will not win the NFC East next year is the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, agreed. The Chicago Bears signed linebacker Devin Bush, back from the dead safety Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, I like that one. I kind of like the DJ Moore move.
Me too.
One of the things that again goes not spoken about too much on the Herd or on ESPN or anything like this, but it's important. Their center retired.
Yeah.
Now they made a move to bring in another 28? Center. 27, 28 years old. Jeez. Yeah. And I always say, God bless him. If he's got the money and he can do it and he can walk away with his knees intact and he's not in a wheelchair or walker, and good for him.
Yeah.
But it hurts, and especially with a young quarterback still. That's a bigger deal than most people are going to want to acknowledge, especially people in Chicago. It's a problem. It's a real problem. And you can look no further than where their head coach just came from, Detroit. They lost their center, and they were a significantly different offensive team this past season. They just weren't the same. Center is really important, especially when you have a very good one. You rely on it so much. It's a big deal. Now, they did replace him. Of course, you're going to replace him, but they didn't replace him with the same quality. So we'll see. This is one of those things where I always say, I know Williams he's not a rookie, but it's a second year in this offense. And we'll see now that a lot of teams have film on him. It's such a freaking good division. And, when they play other teams, they got film on them. And you're not going to get lucky on a lot of those games and a lot of those plays. You're not going to make 17-point fourth quarter comebacks with 5 minutes left. You're not going to do that again. So there has to be a step forward done with these Bears. I'm not saying they won't. I'm just saying you can't rely on that. You're losing to the Giants. I mean, you were losing to so many teams that you ended up winning the game. So there's work that needs to be done there, but losing that center hurts. It hurts a lot.
Peter's Atlanta Falcons signed quarterback Tua Tagovailoa and edge rusher Azeez Ojulari.
Yeah. You're going to think I'm fucking crazy, but I actually like the Tua signing. You have
it's not I mean, you got the same lefty bullshit, and
I think that matters. It sounds silly, but I think it matters. The spin coming out of the quarterback's hand, if he has to come in or if he starts the season, we'll see.
By the way, Tua is better.
Well, I don't think so, but he's had better years, but he's been in the league longer.
You're higher on Penix than I am, but
yeah, I like Michael Penix. I think there's a lot to work with there, and now that he's got an offensive coach, I'm very excited to see what Stefanski comes up with for him. So, but I don't even know if he's going to start the season either. Tua may be the starter when the season starts.
Yeah, might be.
Because we had torn knee shit going on there too. So we'll see about that. I think they're an interesting team also because I like Stefanski as a coach, and I like the ownership in Atlanta in the sense of he's not meddling. He just said, "What do you need? What do you want?" and go get it. Now maybe they haven't always gotten the right pieces. And to me, they had some nice weapons last year and they weren't as, how many games were why won't they give Bijan Robinson the ball? And then when they do, he goes for 300 total yards. So I think there's a lot of potential there. And with Stefanski there, I think things can be very different. And it's a weak division, obviously an improving division, but a weaker division.
Speaking of improving, trying to improve on almost a playoff win at home, but playoff appearance. The Carolina Panthers, two phenomenal moves in my opinion. Linebacker Devin Lloyd and edge Jalen Phillips.
Yeah, big deal. I like it. I like what they did. We talked about them last year. I didn't know they were going to push the Rams to the brink of knocking them
I
out
know.
of the playoffs.
Jeez.
But if you want to go back on this show before the season started, when we did our preseason special, we both said, don't be surprised if Carolina makes a move this year. Now, there were times during the season didn't always look like that. They'd win a nice game, then lose a bad game, then win a nice game, then lose a bad game. But played pretty well down the stretch. They beat the Rams in a regular season. God, had them on the friggin' brink in the playoffs.
Beat Green Bay.
That's a really good football team. Beat Green Bay. Like, I think this is a team on the come. We'll see what happens with Bryce Young. He's just a little undersized, but he throws a nice ball, makes pretty good decisions.
I tell you, this defense now they have playmakers at all three levels now, man.
Absolutely. And I think that's smart because then you don't have to ask a lot of Bryce Young. Like, just make some
plays. And we'll
smart.
go back. It started with that Matt Rule draft when they went.
I know, you're right.
It's like there's like half of those guys are still there, man.
And this is the shame. Yeah, this is the shame of a guy getting fired. Just no patience anymore. And I understand why it's $1 billion business, all that stuff. But Matt Rule got this ball rolling in the right direction, frankly. And it is what it is. What are you gonna do?
He's at Nebraska.
I'm glad you brought that up though, because he deserves a little.
Yeah,
he deserves a little credit for it.
Yeah. The New Orleans Saints signed running back Travis Etienne, which I thought was,
yeah. He had his best season last year. I'll give him that.
He did. So
he's a dual threat.
Funny of that, huh?
He's certainly a dual threat running back. He has that Alvin Kamara feel.
He sure does.
You know, so and both of us really liked
Mr. Shuck,
but how
Kellen?
Kellen Moore, how the job he did, especially second half of the season, like they were not an easy out. They
were not.
Won some games. Shuck had a winning record as a starter. I don't know. This is an interesting team. I'm not ready to say they'll be competitive, but I do like some of the moves they made.
I think they're going to be competitive. I just don't know
if there's enough.
If they could pull how many out of their ass late. Like,
it's so crazy. This is crazy to think, but they're still paying for some shit that they did during the last couple seasons with Drew Brees. Like, they pushed so much money down the road. And even over the last couple of years with guys that they pushed more money down the road. So they're still paying that off.
Wait, so what are you telling me? The Dodgers of football?
Kind of, yeah, except the Dodgers don't have a salary cap, so it don't matter. So that's some of the things that concern me. But this is a very interesting team. It's a very interesting team. We'll see what they do in the draft. That'll say a lot, I think.
The LA Rams traded for corner Trent McDuffie and signed corner Jalen Watson.
F those picks, right? I mean, they really gave up a lot.
All this time.
Yeah, they truly believe in F those picks because this is a move that says it's this year or next year. Like that's what that says. Like you don't care. Yeah. They're another team that wouldn't surprise me if they picked up one of those disappointing quarterbacks and let him sit behind Matt Stafford for the next couple of years. Let him learn from him. Let him learn from McVay. I think they'd be pretty smart.
I got one for you. We could obviously just to flirt on this. We could talk about this in depth in a couple weeks. Carson Beck.
Yeah, if it makes sense. It certainly makes sense. Let him learn. There's so much to like there. There's mistakes. There's what we call sloppiness. A little too risky sometimes.
I like the way he rebounded this year.
Yeah, I did too. And he has an actual Matt Stafford way about him too, like a way of like, fuck it, I'm just going to try to slice it into this little window here. You kind of have to be that way in the NFL. So you put him with McVay behind. I don't hate it.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I know I don't hate it.
First guy, big arm, tall kid. Like there's a lot to like there.
Sneaky athletic.
Yes. Yeah. Played. By the way, I know everybody thinks national championship game, he fucking blew it at the end. He had to push the ball down the field. They're running out of time. He played pretty damn well in that game.
Dude, they fought back too. Like, what do you want from the goddamn guy?
They weren't even supposed to be there. People were saying they shouldn't even have been in the playoffs. Like,
come on, man.
Anyway, I'm with you. And I give you some credit here because you were not a Carson Beck guy. You did not like him coming into the season. I think you didn't actually like him personally, like and as a player. So it's interesting to me. I think it says a lot that you're like, yeah, it would be a nice fit.
Peter, I've grown in these last couple of months.
You're a fair man.
Thank you, sir. Last one for me, pal. The Niners. Surprise of maybe free agency for me. Mike Evans.
Yeah, I like it. if there was a what do they do in the NBA where they take time?
Load
Management.
Load management. Yeah.
You don't see load management in the NFL at all. I would simply suggest a little load management for Mike Evans. Play 3 games, take off 1. Play 4 games, take off 1. Like anytime anytime he feels the slightest tinge in his hammy or his ankle, like take a week off, because him in that offense with his experience and his size and Super Bowl experience, I like this a lot. You know,
I like it a lot too.
It happened, but they didn't really like. It doesn't seem to be on the top of the people's like, oh, greatest moves in the offseason list. I think this is like a really smart move. It screams this year, next year. You know, next 2 years.
Thank you. Yep, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah,
this is a win now.
Yeah, fuck yeah, of course.
Kittle's 100 and he's coming off injury. Like,
yeah. So, like, you know, like, so you could do that same plan with both of those guys. Like, play 3 games, take a game off. Play 3 games, take a break, and stagger it. So it's not the same. You know, they're not taking the same game off. I would give those guys breaks here and there. I just would.
Gotta give McCaffrey one a game, 2 a game, 3 a game, 2.
Yeah. So, but I like it a lot.
You have anything else, sir?
I just wanted to bring up the Cleveland Browns. I don't know what they're doing, and I still don't understand for the life. I mean, what they're doing with Myles Garrett. I didn't understand that. Now they did something. I don't even know how to describe it. Let's just call it card shuffling with his salary and when they're going to give him a bonus or something. And even though they say they have no interest in trading him, maybe they don't. I think what they're doing is they're preparing if he wants to be traded or if he comes out and says, I demand to be traded. A guy like Myles Garrett, usually it's just quarterbacks, sometimes really elite wide receivers. But Myles Garrett is in a position where if he were to demand it, they almost have no choice because he's too good, too big, and eats up too much cap space to just let him sit. So you'd have to figure that out. And the money that they shuffled gives them that option. I don't doubt them that they don't really want to, but it gives them the option if he comes in and demands. Now, from my perspective, I would move on. It makes no sense. They're even talking about like, well, Watson might be a really good find this year at quarterback. Oh my God, you last year the owner said this was a swing and a miss, and now he might be your guy. And I think he might be the guy. I don't know, because the rest of your guys suck. Sanders sucks. The other kid sucks.
Gabriel sucks.
Like, everyone sucks. So, yeah, Deshaun Watson probably looks really good compared to those losers. So maybe he will end up being the starter. And the money that you're paying him, you might as well fucking play him and let him go out there and get mauled or whatever. But I just don't understand why Myles Garrett's still on this team. They shouldn't trade him. You could easily get 2 first-round picks, maybe more. I don't even, 2+.
I think a couple years ago you could have got more. Now I think it's probably
just. He just set the NFL record for sacks in a season.
Yeah, but do you think he's going to do it again? Like, you're going to lose?
No, but I don't think he's going to go from 22 down to 9.
I'll 14.
Okay. You think
you want to give away 3 first picks for that?
I'm just saying, you think Buffalo wouldn't do that?
You know who should do it? Is the Bears.
You think the Bears wouldn't do that? They have no real first round.
They might rename the stadium after. I'm
just saying, like, there's a couple teams that I wouldn't be shocked if they did it.
No, I hear you.
Like Denver might do it. Well, they don't have.
No, I think we're okay on the.
I'm just saying, like, a team fighting for Super Bowl, having a Myles Garrett would be like. I'm trying to think of who else it could be.
But it's so funny, dude. Myles Garrett, Max Crosby. There's a third one there too. Fucking Hendrickson. They've done nothing in the fucking their careers have done nothing in the playoffs. It's just fucking regular season. It's sad. No, I'm not killing the guys. It's just
I know that. Like, I was just gonna say it's funny because everybody's like, oh, this guy's gonna change everything. They signed Hendrickson. It's gonna change everything for Baltimore. Didn't change shit for Cincinnati.
I know.
Max Crosby didn't change shit for the Raiders. Myles Garrett didn't change shit. And for Cleveland, they still stink.
Not a thing.
Unfortunately, these are guys that make 1 or 2 plays a game. 3 plays if you want to start including running plays. I guess you can include like 4 plays a game when quarterbacks touch the ball on every play.
They just happen to be on 3 of the worst 5 organizations in football.
Yeah, but it just goes to show you a defensive
Yeah.
end can't elevate a bad team. But what they can do is
Yeah.
they can be the icing on a good team.
Closer, baby. Closer.
Yeah, that's the difference. That's right. If you put him in Buffalo instead of Chubb, I gotta believe they're probably the favorites in the AFC.
That's fair. Yeah. Well,
now I don't know if these teams kicked the tires or not. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't know, but to me, that would have been a Buffalo move. That wouldn't surprise me if that would have been a Rams move. Fuck those picks. Like, give us this guy for the next 3 seasons. We'll give you 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. Who gives a shit? And we'll win a Super Bowl.
Fucking amazing.
Peter,
we have some other things to talk about. First,
yes.
I want to get into a little golf.
Yes.
I don't know if you've been paying attention. I know Mikey Dean has.
I watch every week.
So last week's tournament, although not a big one-ish, because there's qualifying stuff but the story is Mr. Gary Woodland, who, for those who don't know, battled a brain tumor a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Came out last month and said he's been having some PTSD, some issues, coping with it and dealing with it, and scared on some points. And for this guy to not only win the tournament, but to pull away on Sunday, where the pressure really gets you, just is why you watch sports, my friend. Just
and not just pull away, but he wasn't playing safe.
Right.
That's not his way anyway. He hits the ball so freaking far.
Yeah.
Like his ball speed and all that stuff. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. This is the best of sports. This is the best that sports offers us, and it's probably why a lot of people watch sports. Life is hard. I mean, there's just no way around it. Life is really hard. And maybe you're not dealing with brain cancer, but maybe you're dealing with your own ghosts or your own problems, and you want to give up. Believe me, I've been dealing with some shit on my own lately, and you just want to give up. You just want to pack it in. There's people around you, and there's people that count on you, and there's people that love you, and they just keep you going. And you see something like this, and you say, well, my problems aren't that bad. Like, my problems aren't that bad.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'll make it till tomorrow, and then tomorrow you try to get to tomorrow. And it's a beautiful thing. We look at athletes, they're multimillionaires. Some of them are billionaires. We saw Tiger flip his fucking car this weekend, right? Like this past week or whatever it was. They're people in the end, and they deal with things that regular people deal with, that human beings deal with. Tiger's bugaboo is probably painkillers. I don't know how, probably triple 30 or more surgeries. Probably takes painkillers like from a Pez dispenser. Because there was apparently there was no alcohol in his breath. So like when you have to remember that these are people and they're dealing with difficult things too. So when you see a story like Gary Woodland, you see him overcome it and win a golf tournament with a lot of good players in it, by the way.
Yeah.
And some of them playing very well. It's a beautiful thing, and it's good for humanity. It's a good thing for humanity.
Speaking of Tiger, thoughts on that?
Look, obviously everyone's comment after was like, dude, you're a billionaire. Why don't you just have a driver take you everywhere you want to go? And I think he actually had made some kind of comment. I don't know if this was after this or he had made it in the past, saying like, I don't want people knowing my business. We're past that, brother. We're past that. Like, there's just been multiple times where you do stuff that could kill somebody. You want to kill yourself, that's your business. I hope you don't, but that's your business. But you're putting yourself in a position where you're going to kill somebody else. You're going to kill some poor mom who's taking her kid to soccer practice, and either they're both going to get killed, or the mom gets killed and the kid has no mom, or the kid gets killed and then the mom wants to kill herself because her kid got killed. Like, enough is enough now. You're a billionaire. You can hire somebody for $300,000. Hey, you can hire me for $300,000 a year. I'll be on 24/7 call. I'm your guy. And I'll delete all my, social media. I'll say goodbye to the podcast. Like, come on, man. Like, it's just unnecessary. It's just unnecessary.
Little selfish.
It's just unnecessary.
It's just all that you said is 100% right. And on top of that, too, Tiger, it's time.
Yeah, man.
I mean, give away. You're still a brand. Everyone still loves you. You're still gonna be around the game. You don't gotta try to rush for the Masters. You're not gonna play well anyway. You haven't dude.
No.
Put it.
You can't even play 4 days in a row. Like,
put it to bed.
He can barely play in those TGL.
Yeah, and you're walking 9 feet.
Nowhere.
To the come on.
Yeah. It's interesting. If this would have happened 15, 20 years ago when Tiger was, I'll say, just out of his prime, no longer in his prime, just out of his prime. He was a very polarizing person because he wasn't a really nice guy. Like, he wasn't a great guy. He wasn't loved by the players, and he was polarizing as a person in public. Over the last, I'll say 5 to 10 years, would you say he's become so much more likable?
No doubt about it.
You know what I mean? Like, he's out there. He seems positive. He's a definite, like, ambassador for the sport. He's an ambassador for Nike. And I think because of that, in a way, he's fortunate because people aren't as angry with him. It's more like, come on, dude, enough's enough, as opposed to this piece of shit. Like, you're going to kill, like, you know what I mean? I think 15 to 20 years ago, it would have been a lot more anger and ire towards him. He's catching a little bit of a break here. I just hope he is smart enough to just either you got to wean off the painkillers, or just get a driver, dude. Just get a driver.
Yeah.
I'm in. Count me in.
Dude, when I got
everything.
When I got the alert on my phone, I looked quick. I was working. I looked. I'm like, oh man, is today the anniversary of that?
Right.
I'm going, is that? And then I go on Twitter. I'm like, this fucking son of a bitch did it again.
Yeah, he did it again. It's unfortunate.
To actual golf, we are a week away from the Masters.
Yep.
Scotty has not played great. He's not played at all the last 2 weeks, which is in Texas, because I think he had another baby.
Yeah.
Or his wife had another baby. There are some guys that are playing really well. Aberg, what the fuck? The Gala's been up there. Yep. Jason Day's a little resurgence I've seen.
Yeah. Looks really good.
Adam Scott's been playing okay. Like, there's some guys.
Yeah.
Man.
And what do we always say about the Masters? It's either your kind of course, or it's you see the veteran guys play well, especially early.
Yeah.
Forever it was our guy Freddie Couples, right? He's just gotten old enough to where it's even difficult for him now. But Jason Day, Scott, all those guys you mentioned, I wouldn't even be
Rose. Like,
I wouldn't even be. Yeah, he'll be in there because he got off to a hot start in the beginning of the year this year. I wouldn't even be surprised if we saw Jordan Spieth play well, because this is a course for him. He always does. And he's played a little better this season. So, yeah.
You know what I like this year? I don't want to give away any secrets. I mean, I don't know if we're going to do one next week or not, but I guess I'll tell you. I think DeChambeau.
It wouldn't surprise me.
He's flirting with this thing.
You know who else I'm going to say keep an eye on? Keep an eye on Koepka. There's a reason he bailed on LIV. And what do we always say? I'm not going to go as far as saying he doesn't give a shit about the non-major tournaments, but he attacks them. They're always in preparation for the majors. Do not be surprised. I genuinely believe that he came back to the PGA Tour for stuff like the Masters. Like, it's one of those tournaments he hasn't won. There was times last year, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't there in the beginning of the tournament he looked pretty good last year? Like, he was hanging in there, he was hanging around, and then then we kind of even said, it looks like these LIV guys on the fourth day on Sunday, they just don't have it. And I think he looks down and says, it's not how many, years you have left. It's how many times you have left. Like, even if you, I don't know how old he is, probably mid-30s, right?
Yeah. I think
the upper 30s.
Yeah. 35, something.
Okay. So it's not, he's going to be around for 12 more years. No, you got about 10 more times, maybe 8 more times to take a shot at the Masters. So don't be surprised if he's up there too. You mentioned someone that has played very well there and came out of nowhere, Oberg.
Yep.
I would be shocked if he's not in there at some point. Like, I would be shocked if he's not on the leaderboard at some point in that tournament, because he has played very well there. And he's another one. He gives no shits, man. He makes up his mind, goes to the ball, and hits.
Boom, it hits.
You will never see him getting a warning from the tournament officials saying you got to speed up play. Like, they're going to be like, bro, slow down a little bit. You're hitting up on everybody. For Christ's sake. but I like him. He's a no-nonsense guy. He gets after. He's a hell of a shot maker, and that's what that course is all about. Can you make shots? So
Brooks Koepka 36 in May. So
yeah, there you go. So he really has, to be fair, to be honest, I'll say like 9 more. That'll bring him to 45. After 45, can you win? Sure.
Yeah.
The likelihood drops significantly. Even after 40, it starts to drop precipitously, we'll say. There's
Nice.
your SAT word for the week.
Baseball has started.
Yeah.
Which is, baseball does its damnedest to fuck you up, confuse you, piss you off. The Yankees open up Wednesday night in San Francisco, have Thursday off, then play Friday at 4 o'clock. Oh, by the way, Wednesday was on Netflix. Excuse me, I left the part out.
Yeah.
Friday at 4 o'clock, then Saturday late game as March Madness fucking tournament games are going on, and then off Sunday.
Yeah.
And then last night played in Seattle, 9:40 first pitch. I mean, if you want to lose a fan base early, and listen, I'm a little preoccupied too, and I'll get to that in a minute. But dude, you can't. I forgot they were even on. It was Monday. Baseball has started. Like,
now, luckily the Yankees are off to a decent start.
Their pitching is their lineup. It looks like midseason form.
Yeah. Now, Aaron Judge kind of let people down in a World Baseball Classic, but I'm not going to hold that against him.
No.
I saw something that was very interesting, though. I think it was The Athletic. The Athletic polled their readers, their subscribers, and they did a poll on like hopefulness, like how hopeful are you for this upcoming season? Now, not surprisingly, Toronto, I think it was the Dodgers were number 1 at like 99%. I think Toronto was right behind them at like 98 or 97%. These are fans. These are fans of the team, right? What's fascinating to me, and like, I don't know if this is just a New York thing or what, but Yankees fans sit at like 67%. They're sitting in 22nd place, one spot behind the Miami Marlins and 1 spot ahead of the Chicago White Sox.
What is this poll for?
So it's a poll that's it's a poll that it polled fans on like how hopeful are you on this upcoming season.
Yeah.
So like the Dodgers in Toronto were way up there, almost 100%. Like they're feeling really great. Yankees fans are at 67%. Like they're really low, and they sit somewhere between Miami, the Marlins, and the White Sox.
No, it's fair. They're gonna piss you off. It's fair, right?
Well, what's unfair about that is if you go in the last 15 years,
I know,
they got more wins than anybody in baseball. They literally have the most wins in baseball.
But how many championships?
I know, but they were in a World Series just 2 years ago. Like,
yeah, how'd that end up? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just saying, like,
don't get me started. It's April 1st, for Christ's sake.
To be somewhere in between the Marlins and the White Sox is ridiculous. Those teams aren't even going to win 50 games.
They might not. No, they might not.
The other thing I wanted to bring up is the ABS. Okay. Now, what's fascinating about this is that stadiums, the fans in the stadiums, are loving this shit. So, one of the concerns I'm sure about ABS, which is, I don't know if it's actually is, but it's like the automated ball and strike. I don't know if that's what the ABS stands for.
Okay. Yep. Good job, Peter.
That team. So if you're not aware, teams or the player, I guess, if you're a batter, I don't know, can a pitcher or catcher do it too?
Catcher can definitely do it. Pitchers can, but they tell them not to do it because there's not a pitcher doesn't think a ball is a strike or strike or whatever. You know what I mean?
So basically, you have challenges. I don't know how many challenges you're given.
Boop boop. You get 2, but if you win it, you keep it.
Okay. So when these teams are challenged, like I saw the batter challenged a strike call and ended up being a ball, and a stadium goes nuts. Literally the next pitch, he challenged another strike 3 call. And it was overturned, and the stadium went nuts. So clearly fans aren't hating it so much. My issue, if you're an umpire,
I know it's bad.
If you're a behind-the-plate umpire, you must be sitting there going, fuck you, motherfuckers. And I have to say, why put them on blast like this? This makes no sense to me at all. If you're going to use the system, then just use it on every goddamn pitch. Why are we putting these umpires out in a shitstorm like that? That makes no sense to me. Make them look like assholes.
Well, I think they're going away soon.
Well, maybe they are. And look, you're going to need a home plate umpire anyway for foul tips and for plays at the plate and all that kind of stuff.
Give the pitcher a new ball.
Give a pitcher a new ball. But then just have him with a microphone in their ear, and it's just strike or ball, and he calls it, and there'll be no like on strike 3 calls. Fuck it. That's just, you're not punching anybody out anymore. Just go strike 3, you're out. I don't know. I don't know. I hate this idea. Like people, umpires, about time they've been arrogant. Like players don't make mistakes. Coaches don't make mistakes. Like it's just ridiculous. Like
to my point, baseball fucking annoys everybody.
I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Now I clearly am in the minority because it sure seems to me like the fans are enjoying it, at least in stadium. I can't speak to the fans who are watching at home, and it doesn't seem like it's taken a lot of time, so that's a good thing. It's not like, really wildly interrupting the game, but I don't know. If I'm an umpire, I'm telling these people, look, you can't keep doing this to us, man. It's embarrassing. Like it's embarrassing. Just as a human being, it's we talk about Gary Willen, a human. These are people, dude. Like that's a guy that's looking like a jerk off every time that. And I think in one game there were 6 calls overturned.
CB Buckner, yeah.
That's I don't know, man. And if he's that bad of an umpire, then maybe he shouldn't be calling balls and strikes. But I don't like the look. I don't like the look. It's almost like we're going to start seeing people throw tomatoes and sodas at umpires because they make bad calls. I just don't like it. I don't like it. All right, because this is going to happen. This is going to happen every night. Same guy is going to get overturned every night, and I don't like it. Just go to it full time then. Just if the ABS makes every ball and strike call. What the hell?
Peter, the Final Four.
Yeah.
Tips off Saturday night. The UConn Huskies pulled off a miracle against Duke, which I'm sure a lot of the country was not upset about that. They will play the Fighting Illini of Illinois,
who have been playing fantastic.
Yep. And in the nightcap, the Michigan Wolverines will play Arizona.
And both of them have been playing fantastic.
I think the 2 best teams, all year.
Yeah.
From soup to nuts. It's unfortunate that they got to play in a regional or in a final, in the semifinal, national semifinal. But I have no issues with this Final Four. All earned.
Absolutely.
UConn's got the heart of a fucking champion. For them not to fucking full tent when they were down 19 points.
Unbelievable.
Hurley's a maniac anyway, but
yeah.
Did you watch the game?
I did. Yeah.
The Duke player, the freshman, Boozer's son. Dude, that's how much pressure it is, man. Like all you had to do, hold the ball. Just hold the ball.
I know, yeah. Just don't force it. Don't force it.
Just hold the ball.
That's high school stuff. Don't force it.
Just hold it.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel kind of bad for him.
It's tough.
You can't make that kind of mistake. It's just interesting. I was watching Unsportsmanlike yesterday, and
your favorite.
Chris Canty said that they were talking about like contenders, like yearly contenders. He was like, I just don't think Duke is a contender anymore. He says, when's the last time they won a national championship? I'm thinking, why don't you ask Danny Hurley if they're a contender?
Yeah.
Like that game was basically over.
Right.
They won on a prayer. Let's be perfectly clear. Duke was in the Final Four except for a freak circumstance. The turnover, one thing, and then the 35-footer by a freshman, another thing. Like they're in the Final Four. And let's keep it real. Basketball is a little different than football. These coaches are judged more so on making it to the Final Four than they are judged on winning national championships. I'm not saying they're not trying to win the national championship. I don't mean it like that. I just mean making it to the Final Four is the real measuring stick. Okay, because of the nature of basketball and the one and done, it's not like playoffs or something like that. It's difficult. One team wins a natty. So like to me, winning, getting to the Final Four, and I think most schools look at it this way: conference championship, make it to the Final Four. So and the idea that Duke isn't worthy of, they were there. They were there. They were in the Final Four, except for some freakiness. So of course they're still there. They're still a viable team. But yeah, I agree with you. The one thing that's a little sad, we had some of it on Thursday and Friday of the first weekend. To me, because of NIL and a transfer portal, we don't have those upsets as much anymore. This was definitely probably the chalkiest of chalk years. And we really have. Now, look, I'll be the first one to say I really only want the upsets on Thursday and Friday, but there just wasn't nearly as many as we usually get. And that takes a little bit of fun away from it. But the other side of it is this past weekend was significantly better. Because we had all the big schools in. So you lose, but it's called March Madness. And what the madness is a 12 seed beating a 5 seed. And I think we still had one. I think Wisconsin lost, right? They were a 5 and lost to a 12. But other than that, there wasn't a lot of that. And it just takes away.
I don't count Texas. Like they're Texas.
No, come on, dude. They're one of the richest teams, schools in the entire country. They're an SEC team. Like, no, I don't know.
Yep.
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, Siena upsets, Duke.
Oh, like, they were 3 minutes away. They were fucking
crazy,
they
right?
A 6 guy.
So that's the only thing that's like disappointing to me. But the positive side is this past weekend was fantastic because we had all real big time teams. We had really big time teams going after it, and that was fun.
With that said, go Blue. I mean,
got a real good chance. Got a real good chance. And if they pull off, if they win the championship this year, you've had a hell of a couple years, my man. Jesus.
Yes, sir. Ready for trivia?
Why not? It's been a while. About time I get embarrassed.
Peter, who's first all time in receiving touchdowns with the New England Patriots?
Receiving touchdowns, New England Patriots.
Rob Gronkowski, Julian Edelman, Irving Fryer, Ben Coates.
Throwing Ben Coates in there is kind of weird. I can't imagine that, though. Edelman wasn't so much a touchdown guy. I'm going to go with Gronkowski.
Peter, the long layoff has done you well. 1 for 1.
All right.
Peter, Tom Brady, you might have heard of him.
Yeah.
Is first all time in passing touchdowns with the Patriots.
Who's second? Ay, Dios mío.
Tony Eason, Steve Grogan, Drew Bledsoe.
Touchdown passes?
Babe Parilli.
Touchdown passes?
Passes.
Parilli?
Babe Parilli.
Doesn't he sell tires now? Parilli tires?
I think he's selling donuts.
Oh. You're throwing the Parilli in there. Eason. Who else?
Grogan, Bledsoe, and the Babe.
Parilli. I just don't know that Bledsoe was there long enough. He threw a lot, though. Oh, man. Tony Eason. Oh, shit. I just hate that you threw the Parilli in there, but I'm going to go with I'll go with Drew Bledsoe.
Steve Grogan at 182. You want to guess what Tom has?
400.
541.
Oh my god. That's just not even right. Do you have Bledsoe on there somewhere?
I don't know. I didn't put it in order. That was
okay.
Yeah, my bad.
That's
all right, last one, bro. Let's get above 500.
2 for 3, yeah.
Who is first all time in rushing touchdowns with the Patriots?
Rushing touchdowns, New England Patriots.
Sam Cunningham, Corey Dillon, Curtis Martin, Jim Nance.
So, well, not the Jim Nance that we know, right?
Correct.
So I had Curtis Martin in my head before you said anything. So I'm going to go with Curtis Martin.
Jim Nance.
It's always some freaking guy from the 40s.
It wasn't Babe Parilli, whatever the fuck his name is.
No, Parilli tires. Or is it Perillo Tours in Italy? I don't know. One of those, whatever. You watching anything specific this weekend?
Friday, Yankee home opener at Mr. Bell's. Rest in peace, sir. Saturday, Final Four. Sunday, Easter, probably a little baseball. And Monday, hopefully, Michigan had a shot of a national title.
Last weekend, Moses Atama, or this past weekend, I should say, Moses Atama knocked out, can't remember the guy's name now, Phillips or something like that, 5th round knockout. He's undefeated. He's like 21, maybe 22 years old. This kid is really unbelievable. He doesn't look particularly big, yet he's 242 pounds. Like,
wow.
it's really unbelievable. And he's just a knockout artist, but he's not just a knockout artist. He's technically sound, fast hands. So I watched that and I was like, just very impressed. His name is Moses Atama. You'll be hearing about him. Trust me. He's probably going to be fighting for a championship. I wouldn't be shocked within the next 2 years, like for one of the big ones. He's got a couple belts, but it's like the IWC or who the hell I don't even know.
The Bay Pro League Tournament of Champions,
WWE tournament. I don't even know, but he's legit fantastic. So keep an eye out for that one. And by the way, yes, I'll be watching what you're watching this weekend, but coming up soon, not this weekend, not Easter weekend, but the following weekend is WrestleMania. And we do have some guys, Seth Rollins coming off injury, Cody Rhodes, and Randy Orton. We got the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns against CM Punk, and a bunch of other stuff. Should be a fun weekend. Back to back years, second year in a row. It's in Las Vegas. Now, what's interesting, Trump is doing the Saudis no favors with this war in Iran. Next year was rumored to be in Saudi Arabia, the first Saudi WrestleMania, and now with things going on, less likely to happen because we don't want bombs being dropped on professional wrestlers. So we'll see where that goes. Maybe it'll go to New Orleans or something like that. But fun couple weeks coming up. Maybe we can do a quick one next week for a little primer for the Masters. We'll see. But if not, everybody enjoy that, and we'll definitely be coming up soon with start to take break down some positions for the draft. Our favorite time of year. My favorite time of year as a former Jets fan, because the season certainly sucks. So it's always fun to enjoy yourselves in the off season. For Scott Bracey, I'm Pete Colasano. You've been listening to Bump and Run, and we'll catch you guys next week or so.
Glad to be back. Happy Easter, everybody, and we'll check you later.
All right. Maybe tonight, maybe